snacks.
What it do, snackers, snackettes, and snack X's? It's your boy Gage, aka Phineas Gage, aka Empty Shells, aka Captain Slugs, and I'm here with the homeboy Sin, aka Sincere 619, aka L Fog, and I'm here with the guy Joke, aka New Joker, aka New Joker 89, aka I'm gonna be in AWE wrestling one day. And the truth of the matter is, I don't care about your wrestling. No. You are now tuned in to Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and we talk about things that are happening in pop culture. And today, the show is jammity jam packed. You hear me?
It's jammity jam packed.
Listen, jammity jam, like the 90s, jiggity jammed, jammity jammed, jam jiggity jammed, bum
Kool-Aid
stickity bum
jammers.
stickity bum hun. It's jam packed. There's so much to talk about that we only have time for action and shenanigans. Here's what I want to do. I want to start today's show. What up, Marcus? Boom, back to you. I want to start by talking about Shang Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Now, listen, for those of you who are in the realm,
yes, Tony,
the spoiler boys is done. It's in the books. We talked about it. Pajama jammy jam. See? This all this stuff jokes don't know nothing about.
Nope.
Listen. It's in the book. What up, Fresh?
There we go.
Domingo,
What up, Fresh?
aka Kev Nice, aka Sleazy. Shang-Chi, Spoiler Boys is in the books. It's done and done well. And if you want the spoilerific version of what it is that we have to say about Shang-Chi, eyebrows up, then that's where you want to go. You want to be in the Patreon, you want to check that out, that's where you want to go. What you're going to get right here is just us giving an overall view of how we feel about it, where we feel like it stands in the MCU, and whether or not you should or should not go see it. I'm going to start with a very plain and simple, see this joint. See this joint. I'm not telling you you need to go to the movies to see it. I'm not telling you you can't wait until it comes home. J. Robert Dean, what to do? Got that package you sent me in the mail? Greatly appreciate you. What's up, Kristen? I'm not going to tell you need to go to the theaters. Oh, Jeezy, what up, bro? However, if you're not afraid to go to the theater, do it. Go do it. Because you seen it?
I seen it.
Right.
Totally worth it. Totally worth it. Sin.
Yeah.
Give me the overview.
I thought it was fire. I agree. Like, see it as soon as you can. Agree. If you're not comfortable going to the theaters, the second you have access to watch it on Disney Plus or something like that, go and watch it. 100%. I don't think you're out. If you're a fan of the MCU and martial arts films and coming up on that type, like, you will not be disappointed at all.
Listen, and I'm gonna tell you, because Perp said it. That thing got me doing martial arts and putting holes in my wall. If you walk out of this movie and you don't feel like you fitting a kung fu somebody, you didn't watch it right. Not the movie ain't right. You didn't watch it right. You didn't grow up like us. That joint make you want to do tricks. You hear me?
Woo.
Like the Last Dragon or something.
Hey, you walking back to the car like, hold up.
Hey, look, there it is. Black Belt Theater joint.
What?
Yeah. All that jokes. Talk to me about it. Listen, J. Robert Deans, there will be no spoilers today. Oh, there's no. RG, there's no but. This is it.
Nah, you're not getting about it. Sin used my word, fire. That's just plain and simple, to the point. If you're comfortable, go see it in the theater. Like, hey, as much as Black Widow was kind of that first movie back into the MCU, no, like this joint and kicking off the new phase for the MCU, this is how This is how you kick things off.
So listen, let's do it just like this. Is this movie in the top 10 MCU films?
Easily.
Yes.
Easy. Is this movie in the top 5 MCU films?
I can slide into the top 5.
I just gotta think about it. But probably.
I can slide into the top 5.
All right, so let's pause for a second here.
Yes, agree. He got them hands right now with the MCU.
Nobody want them hands. You hear me? What up, Shells? Listen, is this joint in the top 3 MCU films?
Now we get into the.
Now we having a discussion.
Ooh.
Here's the most.
I can't give it top 3 just yet. I gotta live with it a little bit more.
Robert Deans, because you already know. We all know you hate Guardians of the Galaxy anyway. So is it better than Guardians of the Galaxy? Yes. Yes. All right, let's do this. Is it better than Endgame?
See, I don't know if you can do that.
That's tough because Endgame was that end wrap on everything.
I can't. Know, but listen,
so tough.
Still, we had to put that in a place somewhere in the top 10. Oh man, listen.
Better than Winter Soldier.
Kurt,
nah.
You hate Guardians of the Galaxy too? You know what? Here's the thing. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Because at least you have great company. John, better than Winter Soldier. So listen, John, I think so. Winter Soldier is easily one of my favorite MCU films. Like, yeah. I think Winter Soldier is actually the turning point between them making superhero films and just making movies that are themed movies that happen to have superheroes in them. That was the political thriller turning point.
Best origin story. See,
is it the best origin story? Here's the thing, and listen, and I'm gonna say this. This is not a spoiler, but we talked about this. I feel like this really skirts the line of an origin story. It doesn't. Technically, it is an origin story, but it doesn't really feel like an origin story. Better than Green.
It's not hard. It's not hard to beat the Green Lantern.
Tanya said definitely top 5. Listen, I think top 5 is easy.
Top 5 is easy.
I think figuring out what that top 5 is much more difficult, and I think that top 5 is going to be different for everyone. Look, here's where I'm at. There's a part of me that feels like watching this. I feel like this film. I hope I'm not wrong in this film is doing / has done for the Asian community what Black Panther did for the Black community. Like it feels like that kind of thing. Like it feels like it's done right and it's very respectful.
Yeah.
And I love martial arts films. So I'm super picky about them. I don't just love them because they're martial arts films. Like I am super picky about my action and who is in them and how they work. Love Michelle Yeoh and almost everything she's ever done. There are some parts that certainly. What's up, Ty? You are almost on time, Ty.
Hey,
is it on par with Black Panther? Yes, I think it is. I think it is absolutely. It might be. When we did our top 10, Black Panther ended up being our number 1 because it was the only one that was on everybody's list. But nobody was mad at that. I think this is easily in that same realm of being like right in line with Black Panther.
If we did it the same way, Shang Chi, I feel like would be in most of our time. I think would be up there as well too. So that would definitely be the battle we would fight out for it.
Yeah. Heather, I appreciate it. She said, I feel like there's stuff I didn't get because I'm not Chinese, and I appreciate that. You know what? There probably are things. There are probably things that were in Black Panther that you just take for granted that maybe we understood. You know what I mean? And I think that's important. I think that doing things like literally starting the film with subtitles is a big deal. It doesn't feel like they pulled back. It doesn't feel like they tried to water it down in any way. I really dug this film. I really think it helps to establish someone who technically has no powers. No powers. As a much more important force for what the Avengers is going to be than, let's say, the last character who just had a movie that actually has no power.
Stop it, Kay.
Yeah, Kay, I'm sure some people didn't want to read. T'Challa versus Shang Chi. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. If you look at what's happening in the comic books, like Shang Chi, and look, Shang Chi is kind of like what Taskmaster is. Like Taskmaster tends to get pulled and asked to train. Yes, he's like Batman, but
without the money, he ain't got that type of money.
He doesn't have money.
Not a little bit.
He's parking.
Cars. Let me get those tips. Give me those tips.
Yeah. There's a part of me that feels like this movie. Certainly there are threads that they are sewing in this film that are going to be more important throughout. What, Ty? Defoe has been destroying my evening. Hey, listen, we'll get to 12 minutes in a minute, bro. Moon Knight does have money. Moon Knight got money, and we know you love some Moon Knight, John. Matter of fact, I saw your post, your very, very recent post, looking really good on the cosplay, sir. Very, very good. If y'all are unfamiliar, John Scheibel, y'all check my man out. He got some dope cosplay. Fresh, all white, looking all
Clean.
Moon Knight. Fresh, all white with the Moon Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this movie, with Shang-Chi being the one who generally trains like the good guys. Like in the comics, when Spider-Man lost his spider sense, he went to Shang-Chi to train and learn a new version of martial arts that would help him because he lost his spider sense, which only made him more deadly when he got it back. John, you don't need money, you can make it. You just make money and draw it and put it in your pockets, and
you got money.
We can take it. What's up, Alfonso? Yeah, I think that there may be. Obviously, there's more than what I will tell you this. If you haven't seen it and you go see it, there are 2 scenes at the end of the movie. You should stay for both.
Yes.
You will probably be confused by at least one of them, but it is absolutely worth it. Absolutely and completely worth it. I don't want to drag this on for too long. Here's what I'd like you to do. Jokes.
Yo.
Can you please put up, I don't know if y'all saw this. There was a teaser that went up for The Matrix 4 today. Look at him getting excited. And I'm sure that that is called forgery, but I mean, I'll take the money. It's fine. So here's what I want y'all to do. Y'all, listen, sound off in the chat. Are we clicking on the red pill or the blue pill? I need to know. Ooh. You get a different version of the trailer, depending on which one you pick. I want the chat to sound off and tell me whether we're going red or blue. RGZ.
Okay, that's cool. I like that.
From the movie, but the fights were probably the best of any movie. You know what? Here's the thing. I don't know. for a film that is very kung fu like, it hits a lot of the tropes that are ones that I really dig. All right,
Jay Robert, like take both of them.
All right,
just take both of them.
Neither of those pills cure COVID. So facts. Well, you know what? One of them will tell you it's not real at all.
Hey.
If you take the right one,
very true.
You might be doing
you got
right.
a point.
I think blue is winning.
I think blue
is winning.
It's winning right now.
It's 4-1.
Let's take a few more of those suggestions. While we're getting more suggestions about whether we should go blue or go red, and it looks like blue is gonna win. Here, Sin, I'm gonna throw something at you.
What's that?
What is something related to pop culture or gaming or movies or something that you know you love, but you are in the minority on? Other people just don't like it, but you know you love it.
I feel like still anime to a sense, even though it's grown a lot.
Just anime as a whole, like not a particular anime or like a...
No, just being a fan of it. You know, it's come a long way, but I still see where, it's still a long way to go. So it would be anime for me. Still feeling like the odd man out sometimes when it comes to it,
Sin, I'm glad you said that. Let's talk about the odd man out. Tyrone late to the party. You have not seen a
single... Hey, hold on. I just saw that.
I missed that. You haven't seen any of the Matrix movies?
Dude, man. Get this dude. Like, listen, My daughter was born when the Matrix came out, and like she's seen at least one. Let me get one.
At least the first one. If you'd have said the first one,
you like The Walking Dead and think other people don't, because I don't think you in the minority.
I like that, John.
John
just said what I was thinking about actually saying.
I'm going back watching it right now just to catch up and get ready for the final season. Well, not get ready.
You're right, J. Robert.
Hey, he got that.
A lot of people are not into man. Hey, listen, I think it's definitive. The choice is blue. Jokes. Click on the blue. Let's see what trailer they give us.
Got it.
What time is it? What happened?
What happened? Hold up.
Do it again.
Try it again.
Do you remember how you got here? You've lost your capacity to discern reality from fiction. What's real is here and now. 8:48 p.m. Anything else is just your mind playing tricks on you. It becomes a problem when fantasies endanger us. We don't want anyone to get hurt, do we?
Thursday. Thursday, we get the full joint.
Okay.
As much as I'm sure y'all would love for us to click on that red joint, we're not. We're not doing it. Yes, John, I don't know how we don't have Gundam movies. But I assume you mean like live action Gundam movies.
I know why we ain't got them.
They can't do them right.
Hey, we got one coming.
It took Gundam the longest time to come over here because the creator was like, Americans ain't ready for it yet.
That's what I was going to say. That was going to be my answer. Like,
so that's the reason why we haven't got a live action one yet. It's just
I'm happy. Ready Player One. Ready Player One.
Whose voiceover that is? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Ready Player One actually made that joint look and feel like it could be a possibility. Now, granted, the Gundam was only in a movie for all of maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes, or whatnot ever.
Yeah.
But they made me feel like it can truly be done. But of course, getting the right people for other characters and all that kind of, because making the mech in CGI, I know this is gonna sound wrong. That's the easy part. But like getting the people to play the right characters the right way, that's where
capture it in live action. That's gonna be the trick.
That's where it gets tricky.
That's gonna be the trick. Yep.
I get that. Cuddy says anime is popular, but like old school underground music.
Yes, jokes like in Beast Wars.
I respect that. Ty, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna let you have that answer only because that's what happened for me in 300. Like everybody hyped it, and then when I saw it, I was so disappointed that I feel like I needed to give it more time. I
can agree with that. I do that with a lot of movies and stuff like that to get overhyped. I pull back from it for a while, wait till it comes down, and then finally go in and watch it.
But bro, it's been like 22 years, dog. Like it's time to Matrix.
Very true.
I don't know.
Very true.
And this just creates so many questions.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Ty. The Matrix does not hold up. It doesn't hold up. The way it's written, what it's about, in a lot of ways, is still just as poignant. But when that thing came out, it was a special effects marvel. They do not. They do not hold up, bro. It's just nowhere near. Everybody copied it as soon as it happened, and so now it's not as
bullet time became a thing for everybody.
Yeah, you just have to go into it without expecting that you're gonna get
this big technological masterpiece and all that kind of stuff.
Not gonna be blown.
Just go in, watch it for it is.
Just
leave it at that.
You're gonna see things now when you watch it that are gonna bother you. You're gonna be so upset. No, Aiden Smith does though. That character is very unique. I agree. I'm gonna watch them now so I can watch a new one. I think that's a good idea.
That's a good move.
Parker says that's me in One Piece, and I still stand by my statement. And you know what?
Oh, here we go.
Look,
I know, Marcus.
The hype destroys. I'm usually pretty good at staving off certain levels of hype, and that's usually because I'm good at going and seeing the things I really want to see right away. 300, I made the mistake of missing it. I didn't go to the theater to see it. And I'm not even joking. Like, people were literally running around yelling, like, this is Sparta. Like, they were selling it, bro.
I didn't see it in the theater either. I didn't see the entire.
You remember, I bought a brand new TV, like the first 120 hertz Samsung they made. Peep game, a HD DVD player.
I was about to say that's when I saw it first.
With little red maroon cases.
Listen, I was like, I'm gonna watch this joint. It's gonna be so good. I so let down. I didn't know that there were like monsters in that joint. Like I was expecting like a kung fu flick almost, like dudes would just be wrecking dudes. That joint just destroyed it for me. Yeah, I needed some spray on 6-pack abs in order to enjoy that. Perp says Attack on Titan is completely worth the hype, and more people need to watch that, especially with part 2 of the final season dropping in January. It's about to break the internet.
It's gonna break the internet fast.
First episode is going to.
Oh yeah, that first episode they're gonna shut down Crunchyroll, Funimation, whatever. It's gonna crash.
More than that, yo, people gonna be upset.
I might have to tune in for the first episode.
Oh, you watching the first episode?
Y'all just can't let it hang like that.
You gonna watch the first episode?
If you tune in for the first episode, you might as well watch it all.
Hey, Sin, that's funny you say that. I want you to keep what you just said and remember when you watch that. When you watch that episode,
listen, just save it and run it back, man. Clip that. Somebody clip that. My man said he's gonna watch the first episode.
I said I might.
It's something. It's what he said about that episode. So yeah, clip that because that's gonna be funny when you go back and watch it.
Oh, I hate you, jokes.
Hey, listen. Hey, Sin, this one's for you. Y'all buckle in.
Morning. Well, oh,
jeez. Rick, you did it again. Didn't you learn anything from last time? Oh, I thought you...
Are you kidding? Never.
Hey, listen, that's enough.
That is too dope.
Talk to me. How hype are you for this?
I'm hype. I ain't gonna lie. I've only seen probably like the first episode of this season. I've been focused on anime and other stuff. So I'm getting ready to go through and just run through the whole season. But to see this for that is dope and clever. I love it.
Sound off in the chat if you're a Rick and Morty fan. I just want to know who I'm dealing with here. Why y'all are doing that? Jokes. Talk to me about this No Time to Die trailer.
Dog.
I'm not gonna show it. Just talk to me about it.
So obviously this trailer has already taken some pieces from the other trailers that have been released since the day it's been delayed so many times for it. But with this one, this trailer for me, what really hits home for the fact is that it talks about this is the conclusion. Like this is the wrap for Daniel Craig's James Bond. Like this is it. Right. The movie itself, to me, it doesn't seem like a traditional James Bond type of flick. Like this don't like seems like, this is like there's like end of the world, like something major is happening. And he's a part of this crew that's got to get in here and try to figure this thing out. I'm hyped for it. Like James Bond, mostly coming up watching the originals with my mom. James Bond has become one of my favorite franchises. When I got into it, it was Pierce Brosnan, so that's my Bond until I didn't saw Sean Connery, and then I was like, ooh, my man,
real Bond.
My man, smooth with it.
Smooth with
it. But I'm amped for this just for the fact of them wrapping up this section of movies, because that's a different thing for James Bond. Like none of the movies necessarily fully intertwined with each other. There was characters that kind of migrated through each one of the movies, but for this section of movies to just wrap it up and put a bow on top of it, I'm amped to see what they do and how this is going to translate or correlate to what the next thing inside of MI6, 007, whatever they end up going to after this. I'm eager to see the setup for this.
That's what you're amped for. I appreciate that, Vic. Greatly appreciate that. I'm not sure why that is, but I'm not sure how that happened, but thank you. Greatly appreciate that. I see a bunch of people saying they're not really fans of Rick and Morty.
Hey,
listen, I get it. Some people haven't watched it yet. Yeah. It is one of those things. Anything that really gains a buzz from Adult Swim they tend to have like very niche audiences, and the ones that are there are super rabid, but it's a real thing. As far
it took me a minute to get into it, but it's grown on me.
Perp saying he's never been interested in James Bond. I understand that. I think they tried to use Daniel Craig as a way to kind of update Bond for the way that movies are and so forth now, and it hasn't super done a thing for me, but this trailer actually got me hyped. Like, man, I need that.
No, I agree.
to
And like I
do
said before,
something.
I haven't watched any of Daniel Craig's versions of 007. So the trailer for this has me excited, and it's a conclusion. So I think now is the time to sit around, take a weekend, knock out all 4, and get ready for this one when it comes out.
J. Robert Dean says Bond is over as a stereotype, and if Lynch isn't a major recurring character or the next Bond, it's maybe my last time watching. I'm not mad at that. Ty says those are my dad's favorite movies. James Bond, seen all, including the VHS versions. Purpose says new comedy nowadays hasn't really been hitting for me. I miss the Boondocks days. I respect that too.
I respect that.
Listen, I think a lot of the kind of comedy that you're really looking for is in places you don't really realize you should be looking for it. Like it's on in the middle of the day on Cartoon Network in places like, man, listen, I'm a hater, bro. I'm a hater by nature, but listen to me when I tell you that like Gumball, like that show, as dumb as it seems, as terrible as it should be, that joint is incredibly funny. It's incredibly funny, just like Teen Titans Go. It shouldn't be. I wanted to hate it so bad. Couldn't do it. I tried to fight it for, I fought it for like 2 years, 3 years.
The clips I've seen said it's funny. I keep saying I need to watch that because the clips I see are so funny.
I watched the first episode. I haven't watched the others. I'm almost in Sin's boat right now. I kind of want to let this like get to a point where like I can just sit and binge it because I know I'm gonna enjoy it. I normally never am like that, but I kind of want to do it.
John said Daniel Craig made Bond an emotional character where the others were two-dimensional. I can agree with that. Apple and Onion. Listen, again, dumb shows. It's kind of like Adventure Time. Also dumb, but here's the thing. I know a lot of the jokes are way over kids' heads because they talk about stuff. They make fun of things that only somebody in our age brackets would understand, like would know. Like so many of the tropes are based in like original NES games. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. That it's just like they don't get that. You watch Gumball and they're making references to old like KRS-One music, bro. There's an entire run where the cop I hate this show so much because it's so funny. The police officer is a giant donut, all right, which in and of itself is just
okay.
They doing a ride along with the police officer and they're in the back of the car and he starts chasing somebody and they're in the back of the car going whoop whoop. That's the sound of law enforcement. And I was like, dog, no child knows what this is. Not at all. Not even a little bit. I can't, like, that's for me. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand Daniel Craig.
But this trailer looks interesting.
Listen, here's the thing. I think Daniel Craig has the poutiest, angriest face.
Just looking mud.
Like I don't. Yeah,
he just ate a Sour Patch Kid and it's still sour.
But yes, indeed. But I don't like. But I do like stepping on some of the debonair. Right, like just stepping on what James Bond is a little bit and allowing it to be a bit more action packed. Like they really did need to mix a little bit of that Jason Statham transporter in with James Bond, and that's basically what they did with Daniel Craig.
And I think they did a good job of it.
That's how I feel about it. Like they needed to kind of update it, and I think they did a good job because the only thing that even comes like look at what the Kingsman is doing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and that's kind of what they need to be. Purpose says if Idris Elba was Bond, I'd watch that. And listen, I understand that, but you can just watch the 2 Equalizer films and get your fill without Idris. It's doable. You just watch Denzel. You watch Book of Eli and then watch both the Equalizer films, and you'll have enough. You'll be good to go. Listen, Marcus, you've probably heard me say many things before, or I might just be in your head, bro. That's probably a good portion of what this is. Okay. Now's the part where we can start getting into some games and stuff like. Who do I think will be the next Bond? Listen, the word on the street is that Latasha Lynch is going to replace
James
not
Bond.
necessarily Bond, but will be the new 007.
Correct.
And that 007 going forward will have a different name. That it is the number that's important, not the name that's important. We will see how the world reacts to that.
Oh, I'm waiting. I'm ready for
It
Oh,
being
it's
a
coming.
woman, it being a black woman,
Mm-hmm.
I do have a feeling. I feel like the backlash is gonna be pretty significant.
It is. It is.
Because it already existed. Because when the rumors hit,
Oh, when
Mhm.
rumors hit, it was
already,
disgusting.
and that was a couple years ago. So, we'll see.
Mhm.
We'll see if the world is ready for it. To be honest with you, when this movie was originally supposed to come out, when they were originally filming it, so much has happened and has changed since that
100%.
happened.
100%.
It might be a little bit different. You know what I mean? Like we're just starting to see a lot more diversity. Excuse me, and not just diversity for the sake of diversity. But
I like that, J.
Rob.
Rob.
Bite me. Lynch deserved a series. She should have been Photon. Hey, listen. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I am not familiar with Latasha Lynch's work outside of being in Captain Marvel. I don't.
Same here.
I'm not familiar with her. So if you say that saying she deserves it, for me personally, is a stretch. But here's the thing. They can replace James Bond with anybody I never heard of, and I just be like, let me see what happens.
That's it. At this point,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter as long as you put somebody in position that can
handle and roll and do what they need to do.
Yeah.
Make their own character. Hey, like each Bond has something different. To each one that took the role and ran with it, and it made it a little subtly different, but then they had their similarities between each one of them. So,
indeed,
switching it to her.
I was saying also, like we've seen with the MCU over the years, like look at casting choices, and you may be like, but when you watch it, like, okay, Marvel knows what they're doing with the casting. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to look weird if they can't, depending on who they cast. And I'd rather just, okay, let's just see what they do and just go from there.
I just hope she kind of puts the hands on Bond at one point. Like, I feel like there's going to be like some type of scuffle or something between the two of them at one point. I don't know.
I don't know if that's
not necessary. I just want to.
What makes you think that though?
I don't know, because I feel like clearly they're teaming up at a point here, but I feel like at some point maybe Bond doesn't know her or whatnot ever, and they're like in the same mission on the same thing, but they're like on two parallel opposites. They kind of get in a scuffle. Then, they realize, oh, we're fighting for the same thing. You know how typical that type of thing goes for it. But I feel like that's going to be the moment Bond's like, oh, yeah, you
might be the one.
I'm going to step aside now.
Listen, let's just call it right here, right now. Is he going to die in this movie? Call it. Yes or no?
No.
Okay.
I think he will be something. No.
I'm just gonna roll with no because I haven't seen the rest of them yet to really call it, but I'm going no.
Okay. I'm gonna go with yeah. I'm gonna go with at least they fake his death. Like it's gonna look like he died, and then in after credits, you might find out that he's off
in Bora Bora somewhere.
I mean, technically he's done that, so it's like a couple times.
Yeah, but he's being found, so I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna have the resources to do it in the same way he's done it before. Hey, listen, let's talk about some controversy. Y'all know I love some controversy.
Controversy?
Yes, but they're gonna get sexy first. Do they get sexy and then fight? Do they fight?
Oh, I want to see it go that way.
I mean, both ways could work.
Yeah, but I want to go with that one.
I will tell you this real quick. When I went to see Shang Chi, that was the first time I watched. I don't know. Somehow I just allowed the newest trailer for Dune to pass me by.
Mm-hmm.
New trailer kind of got me hyped.
Dog, I'm amped.
I ain't even listen. I'm not even gonna stunt. Like Dune is an old joint, and as much respect as I have for it, it's just not one of my It's not one of my go-to. I'm like, oh man, Dune. Like I'm much more like I'm like Last Starfighter. I'd rather watch listen. If we're gonna go to space or something like that, give me Enemy Mine, give me Last Starfighter, give me Aliens, give me Predator.
Yep. The original Star Wars trilogy, all that stuff. Yeah,
there's all kinds of other stuff that I will take ahead of that.
Yeah, but that new trailer looks fire.
I'll take Crow, bro. I'll take Crow.
Yeah, the little
that joint. However, yes, a la Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. I'm with that. However, new trailer got me kind of hyped. And now I'm like, dang it. Do I need to go back and rewatch the first Dune. I kind of don't want to because I'm scared of what it's going to look like.
It's been so long.
I'm going to watch this one first, and then depending how I feel, I'll go back and watch the original one. That's
you think Dune's going to be terrible, John?
I've been hearing great things about it so far. Like the early viewings and stuff like that. People are saying it's great.
I think it's going to work out. I do. I think it's going to work out. I mean, yes, it holds up. Okay. If it holds up, then I think as long as they do this right, if all it really is for the most part is that they've updated it so that people who weren't even alive when that movie came out can watch it and be like, oh yeah, Dune, I like that. Then that would be, not go back and watch the first one if you've never seen it. Sure, if you've never seen it, that might not be a move. Having seen it, but not seen it in a very long time, again, just because it's not, I don't, bro, I've seen Flight of the Navigator probably 25 times, bro. I would watch that joint before Dune in a heartbeat. Flight of the Navigator was fire, so
classic.
I would watch that joint over and over again. Not the Toto soundtrack. I mean, I dig that. It only holds up if you've seen it, and I've seen it. And here's the thing, and I have a special place in my heart for 80s level practical and non-practical effects. You have to have space in your life for both. But yeah, that's a very, very real thing. Sam, did you see this this fiasco about Sonic Colors that happened like over the last few days or towards the end of last week or whatever it was?
A little bit. Some issues.
That glaive was fire. If I find me one of those joints, I guarantee you somebody has one of those joints at a Comic-Con. I'm just not looking in the right place. That glaive was fire.
You're right. Might have science fiction Comic-Con or something like that. No, but I've seen very little. I'm not too familiar on it though.
Jokes, did you see it?
I saw it when you posted it. Like, before, I don't play the Sonic game, but when I saw that, I was just like, wow.
Realistically, I could care less about what they do in any Sonic game. Like, I'm not playing any Sonic games. But what I will say is that for a lot of people, it was a big deal. And essentially what happened is somebody who was reviewing it or had some version of a review copy of it ran it on an emulator. Right. And the emulator they ran it on had a bunch of glitches. So they reported it and showed it with a bunch of glitches. And then other people started hopping on it and like faking the glitches and stuff like that. And they made it so bad over Twitter that specifically for the Switch version of it, that they went back, that the Switch actually went and started refunding people's money for it. And it turns out it was the whole thing was fake.
It was the emulator.
There are some glitches though, apparently, but that the whole thing was fake. I love the internet. The internet is incredible. Absolutely.
We'll find out.
More controversy. Let's talk about this Horizon Forbidden West. Why are you doing that with your head, Sin? Why is your head?
No, just them and their whole upgrading to the PS5 thing.
The Sony shenanigans.
Yeah. But here we go again with Sony.
Sony first party shenanigans.
You want to fill me in on what happened?
They're in a sense charging people to get the PS5 version. If you didn't buy like a specific version of Horizon Zero West when it comes out, then you won't be able to upgrade it for free. You have to buy it all over again. They're doing that stupid crap with the upgrading the PS5 version. Everybody's pissed off about it. Which since then they have reversed.
Right. They fixed it.
But yeah.
Another backpedal for Sony.
Basically what they did was, they do, man, listen. So let me show you. So this is one of the versions of Horizon Forbidden West, the Regala edition. So when they did the initial post on the PlayStation blog, after Gamescom and they announced that the release date is February 18th, 2022, here's all the editions you can get and what have you. Basically, there are like 5 different editions of the game. And out of those 5, if you want the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5 version, you needed to buy one of the 3 upgraded, starting at $80. So the regular edition and special edition, if you bought those and you bought them on PlayStation 4, to get them on PlayStation, to get it on PlayStation 5, you had to pay the full $70 to get on PlayStation 5. You're right, Heather. They are straight up nickel and diamond people. And if you, what it said in it is, if you wanted to have the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 version, you needed to buy at least the $80 version, which had no physical copy. But it's $80. So it is an additional $10 on top of the $70 you would pay for the regular PS5 version. So if you just buy PS5, it's $70. PS4 is $60. If you want the PS4 version and want to be able to move into the PS5 version, you had to spend $80. That's the base you had to be. And for a lot of people, that was a problem. And part of it was the wording they used, which is basically saying that the regular edition and special edition do not enable dual entitlement. Here's where the problem was. The problem with it was that Jim Ryan, the CEO and president of Sony Entertainment, made a statement last year around this time, maybe a little after that, saying that all of the launch window first party PlayStation games would get a free upgrade. I think what the misstep here was that even though Horizon was supposed to come out as a launch title, because they pushed it back, they decided, well, we pushed it back. It's not coming out until February next year. That'll be a full year and 3 months after the original release. So it's not a launch title. So we can do what we want. Right? And I think the issue is that there are a lot of people who purchased their PlayStation 5s or were planning to with that in mind, with the idea that they'll be able to upgrade from one to the other and won't have to pay any extra to do that. Doing that first day of school haircut, I feel you. So here's what they ended up doing. I'm going to read Jim Ryan's statement.
Okay.
That was posted to the update. So if you read the PlayStation blog right now, it still exists as it did in its original post form with the news and how they broke it and all that kind of stuff still there. What they did was an update above the blog that had this quote from Jim Ryan. So Thursday was to be a celebration of Horizon Forbidden West and the amazing team at Guerrilla working to deliver it on February 18th, 2022. However, it's abundantly clear that our offerings we confirmed in our pre-order kickoff missed the mark. Last year, we made a commitment to deliver free upgrades for our cross-gen launch titles, which included Horizon Forbidden West. While the pandemic's profound impact pushed Forbidden West out of the launch window we initially envisioned, we will stand by our offer. Players who purchase Horizon Forbidden West on PlayStation 4 will be able to upgrade to the PlayStation 5 version for free. I also want to confirm today that moving forward, PlayStation first-party exclusive cross-gen titles newly releasing on PS4 and PS5, both digital and physical, will offer a $10 USD digital upgrade option from PS4 to PS5. This will apply to the next God of War and Gran Turismo 7 and any other exclusive cross-gen PS4 and PS5 title published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. So, while they tighten that up, right? All right, look, we heard you. We tried to grab, grab that money real quick, but it's cool. We're gonna let y'all
called us on our BS.
After this, y'all shut up. Don't say nothing else to me about it.
Pretty much.
We just want y'all to know. But here's the other thing. What they did was they here's what I appreciate about this. Part of the complaints that people had were that they were not clear. They had continuously been unclear about what that process looks like, what it costs you, how much it is. What's happening right now with the director's cut of Death Stranding? What's happening with the director's cut of Ghost of Tsushima? It's an extra $30 if you want to do this. It's $10 here if you want to go from this to this. It's $20 if you want to do this, but you want to do this and you didn't do this. It's confusing and ridiculous and whatever. And that's not the kind of thing personally that I feel like you do to your fan base, right? To your fan base, to the people who have supported you and brought you to where you are. However, we also have to bear in mind that the people who buy those games, so they are very vocal and are some of the staunchest diehard PlayStation fans there are. Realistically, with 115 million PlayStation 4s in the wild, and PlayStation 5 very rapidly catching in terms of how quickly it's selling. Those titles generally only sell somewhere in like maybe the 10 to 14 million range. Maybe. They don't come anywhere close to making up the majority of the percentage of people who have PlayStations.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is, right? So if you're making a business decision, and I'm not saying it's the right one, I'm just saying we know how Sony does business. If you're making a business decision and you look at your numbers and you go, okay, we know this is going to be a big deal. We know this is going to be a system seller. We know that there are people who are going to buy PlayStation 5s because they want Horizon, right? We know there are going to be people who want PlayStation 5s and can't get them because they want Horizon. So they're going to buy it on PlayStation 4, waiting for their ability or their chance, their opportunity to get a PlayStation 5. And when they do that, they're going to want to be able to move that game over and play it at no additional charge. It is still super confusing right now if you have a PlayStation 5, even how you download the right version of the game, whether you get the PlayStation 4 version or you get the PlayStation 5 version, right? This is the kind of thing where when Microsoft this time last year was throwing buzzwords out like
smart delivery.
Smart delivery, and people are like, that's not really a thing. You're just
yes, it is.
Turns out it is a thing.
It is a thing.
It's a really big deal. It's a really big deal. It just
even now hearing that it's gonna cost $10 to upgrade. I'm like, yeah, but I don't have to do that right now on my box.
Now, listen. Now, here's the other side of that coin. This is not third-party stuff, right? So, whatever, say, EA decides to do, if they do something that's cross-generational, cross-platform, is up to them, whether they decide to charge for that.
Right.
What Activision? I don't know if you saw the new Call of Duty Vanguard trailer that dropped today. I'm doing my best to ignore Activision, but that's what it is. They dropped a new trailer today. I'm going to be honest. It looks like it might be fire. Still not getting my money. But what they decide to do, if they do cross-platform, cross-generation, it's up to them. For first party, I mean, clearly you could do Game Pass. If you do an Xbox, you could just, when you got it, you don't even have to worry about it. Doesn't matter, right? But if you're a PlayStation person, or if you play both, but you're gonna want those PlayStation exclusives, like a God of War, like you can't get them anywhere else.
Yeah.
So for maybe 5 games, you're gonna pay an extra $10. Because the cross-generational thing, while right now, realistically, I think the idea was that this would be over already. Right, unless you joke, then you just buy it off. Realistically, I think they thought that would be over now. Like, at this point, we're a year into the lifespan of these two consoles. We're starting to shut it down, right? Like, even Microsoft in the beginning was like, look, for the next 12 to 18 months, we're going to kind of continue to do both. But we're starting to see things that are going to come out that are only for the new generation, right?
That's not even being mean. That's just facts. That's just facts on what Sony is doing. Like,
I agree. Yeah, Heather, you're absolutely right. That's not about being mean. It is the kind of thing that a person will make the mistake of buying a PlayStation 4, thinking, well, I'll just buy the game now and then I'll upgrade it later. Or whatever. It being difficult or hard to understand or whatever it is the kind of thing that will make them go, I can do this Game Pass thing on my phone. I can do this Game Pass thing on my tablet. I can do this Game Pass thing on my TV. Just grab me an Xbox Series S. You know what I mean? And see what it's all about. Like,
and I'll download the right game.
Yeah, we will push people into somebody else's ecosystem. I really do. I really do believe that. How much of that fan base is it? That's hard to say. How long is that actually going to take? That's harder to say. But I think that as the generations themselves solidify. So I don't know if y'all saw this, but within the last week, Toshiba, I actually don't believe you, Marcus. I think you do have those kinds of issues. Because I'm going to tell you what's getting ready to happen to you. I bet you don't upgrade to Windows 11 right away.
Oh, you are not going to upgrade to Windows 11 right away.
Because as great as it's supposed to be for gaming, if that joint messes up anything else that should be working that don't work, you know what I'm saying?
You better have that rollback.
That driver ain't right, bruh.
You better have all them joints backed up because you're going to want to wipe that joint and install Windows 10 back on there in a heartbeat.
As I said, Costco got them S's in stock right now. Kurt, Loud Pride says, with game streaming, Microsoft will be the first platform to eventually need no console. The app will serve all the content. Again, agreed. There is, right now what's happening is, again, you're starting to see the differences in the way that they do business because of the way they're trying to sustain their business. Sony is attempting to sustain their business by forcing you into the console. Microsoft is no longer trying to force you into the console.
Right.
They just want you in the ecosystem. And what's happening is Sony is playing right into that. They're doing the kinds of things that are forcing people into the console and the ecosystem. Now, there are still some things that Xbox needs to get right. So, like, you can get the Steam version of a game that is available on Game Pass through Xbox on your computer, and the Steam version is going to run better, which is crazy. But I'm pretty sure they'll fix that. Exactly. Made fast about a global chip shortage, which is what I was getting ready to get into. And you're right, John. Netflix is now talking about this video game. Most of what they're doing right now is geared towards mobile. But again, that is a market that everybody has access to. Many people have phones. And that's why Microsoft is like, yeah, we just Xbox.com/play on your browser. If you have Game Pass, just stream your games.
Play on your phone.
Another thing that they're doing, and keep this in mind, because one of the other things that's on my list of things to talk about is how because last week Bethesda announced that they were doing Quake 4K remastered and it was going to all consoles, including PlayStation, and that they were doing Skyrim 10-year anniversary. 10 freaking years since Skyrim. Skyrim 10-year anniversary, and it's going to everything. The Twitter blew up. Oh, Starfield gonna be on PlayStation. No, it's not.
Calm down. Calm down. Calm yourself.
Listen, unless you go on your PlayStation and you go to the browser and you go to Xbox.com/play, they decided to let Game Pass on it. Because the reality of it is what they're saying is those games will exist wherever Game Pass is. So Nintendo buckles and is like, you know what? Go ahead and put Game Pass on Switch. We just want to sell a bunch of Switches. Cool. We're okay with that. They're like Phil Spencer has already come out and said like Game Pass works great on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, like, that was funny.
You know what that's
get yourself a Steam Deck.
What it is, right? So yes, your Netflix subscription is likely to go up, but right now they're saying it's not going to go up. That those games are just going to be included as part of your subscription. But that Netflix subscription continues to go up annually.
Regardless,
like it's going up like $1 or $2 annually. Consistently.
Hulu just went up, so it wouldn't surprise me Netflix is about to do the same. We'll do it again.
I agree. So yeah, so Toshiba announced earlier this week that the chip shortage is so bad that they expect it to last into 2023. Into 2023, which means this time next year, as think about this for a second, it's almost 2022, which is disgusting. But like this time next year, it's probably still going to be extremely difficult to get a PlayStation 5. Disc, with or without a disc, right? Probably still going to be difficult to get an Xbox Series X or Series S. Here's the difference. With game streaming, what they're doing, and we know Starfield comes out next year in November. They gave us a date. So here's the reality of it. Game streaming through Game Pass will be available on an Xbox One, a One X, a One S, a One. So if you have the old Xbox One sitting around, if you go to a GameStop and buy one used, you can play next-gen games that technically won't release on that console through the cloud. On that box, on your old TV, with your old game system. That is a game changer.
100%.
That is a game changer.
100%.
So there's no part of me that doesn't think that Sony isn't going to have some level of an answer for what Game Pass is and for streaming sometime within the next year. I don't know how soon,
Mhm.
but I do think it's coming. Definitely should have taken the blue pill. On that note, PlayStation has a showcase on Thursday. And here's
That
what
they
I
do.
think is special about that. This was announced last week as a showcase. Now, what PlayStation has been doing has not been a full showcase, right, Jokes?
Mhm. Yep.
That tells me that this is more akin to what they would have / should have done at an E3.
Mhm. Agreed.
Right?
Mhm.
So let's do some predictions because the rumors are already running. Jokes, throw me a prediction. What do you think we're gonna see on Thursday at the PlayStation Showcase?
So I'm gonna start with
All right,
the.
Kurt. We will get into that in a minute.
I'm gonna start with the things that are probably more than likely going to happen first before I go into my swing for the fences type of thing. But
All right, well, let's go round robin. Just give me one, and then I'll go
Gotcha.
to Sin.
I think we're actually going to see The Last of Us multiplayer show up at this jump. Hasn't been really talked about in a while now.
I like that.
And I think either right as we get ready to go into the holiday, whether they try to make some type of push, obviously chip shortage, maybe they got some stocked away and they want to get these consoles out, and hey, Last of Us multiplayer is here. So I think that'll definitely be talked about at the showcase.
PlayStation 4 and 5?
PlayStation 5.
Oh, you're nuts. Okay. I like that though. Let's get crazy. All right. Sin, give me a prediction.
I think we'll get a look at the new PSVR. I think they'll do a focus on VR. They haven't talked about it really recently.
Okay.
I think they'll give us a look at it and show us some of the new stuff on it.
I can appreciate you swinging for the fences with that. I did not think of that, but that definitely could be a thing. Here's what I think. I think we're gonna get our first look at Grand Theft Auto Next Gen. That we know that's supposed to come out this year.
Mm-hmm.
We know that they have a marketing deal with Sony.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either here or it's at the Game Awards. Again, Rockstar can do whatever they want. They don't have to.
True.
They don't have to play ball, but I am fairly certain that this is where we're gonna see it because this is where we tend to see it. So whatever next gen upgrades we're gonna get, whatever differences are gonna be, and whatever opportunity they have to say, if you're playing on PlayStation, you get this, this, and this, and you don't get those if you're playing somewhere else.
Right.
You know, on PC or you're playing on Xbox. Like they'll make it. They will take the opportunity to make it feel like it's only available on their system. Jokes.
This one's for you, Gage. We just had that DLC Black Panther drop for Avengers. I think we're going to get the look at Spider-Man for the first time for the Avengers DLC. And I think that'll be in enough time to potentially drop that jump like right before Far From Home gets ready to come out. So I think we may get our first look at Spider-Man running in the Avengers.
I can see that. I respect that.
Okay.
Sin?
Persona 6 announcement. Last one dropped in 2016. So I think it's around that. Yeah, 2016. So it's around that time for a new one to, be blessed with it. So I'm looking for a Persona 6 announcement.
Okay. I am fairly positive we will get a true first look at God of War 2. Pretty sure we're gonna see that. I mean, they'll say about that. Jokes.
Going for this is gonna be my fence swing. After hearing some things rattling around, we're gonna see something new of Infamous. Infamous came out a very long time ago, and ironically, I think we had a conversation about Infamous on a show not too long ago. Now, not quite certain if this is going to be like Infamous 3. I kind of think this is probably going to be the remaster. I kind of think we're going to see 1 and 2, and then the extra DLC one, whatever it was, kind of to test the waters. I know there's still a fan base that would love to see an Infamous 3, but I think they need to do the remaster, get it in front of some more people, and so they can kind of get into the world of Infamous, and then eventually move on to Infamous 3. Maybe they'll say, yeah, Infamous 3 is a thing. Maybe they'll say it, but I think it'll just be, hey, here's the remaster. It's coming for you.
Sin?
I think we get to see the trailer for the Alan Wake remaster at the showcase.
I was thinking that. I was thinking that there's a couple reasons why I think that might be the case, because we know that Epic has a marketing deal specifically with PlayStation, and Epic is putting this out for Remedy. So I think any opportunity they have to like show off the ray tracing and stuff like that, that Epic has, I don't know if they're doing it in Unreal and Unreal 5 or not, but
Right.
that would make sense to me. That actually would make a lot of sense to me. Since you decided to swing for the fences, Joe, I'm gonna swing over the fences.
Okay.
Through the woods. You ready?
Oh.
All right.
I mean, hold on. You gotta put the finger. Like you gotta.
I know,
right?
right? Yeah.
You gotta
get your gloves out. Paw Rapper the Rapper 3.
No.
No, God. My man's swinging for like.
Hell no.
Yo, Sin, he's swinging for like Jupiter right now.
Hey, that was a ground ball right to the picture.
Good God.
I'm sorry.
Foul ball. Like you just not having that joint at all.
Okay. Normally that's me throwing something like that. But
Nah, it is. It really
good
is.
job, sir. That was a good
Oh
one.
gosh.
You're right. Nah, you're absolutely right. Nah, I don't actually think.
Hey, stand by, because who knows what the hell? Sony, no telling what they.
If that Joe dare pop up on Thursday, though, I'm shutting down my stream. I'm just walking off. I'm walking off set.
Nah, here's what I really think. I think we get the full trailer for Final Fantasy 16.
I can dig that.
I think that's what we'll get.
We'll love that.
Anybody else have any other thoughts they want to throw out about that?
I got one more I can throw out there.
Okay,
I think we're gonna see more of these first party Sony games show for PC. So whether they do it all at one time to announce, or possibly as they go through, like say God of War, they show the thing, and at the end of it, PS4, PS5, PC, if they're going to do it that way, or if it's just going to be, hey, everything or all the first party things that we showed to you today will also be coming to PC. I definitely think there's going to be a heavy swing there, just for the fact of you still can't get the PS5. And if you want some of these titles, you know what? You guys got PCs. Just buy the game and play it on PC. Sony finally bent and started doing it.
Uncharted and stuff like that. I don't think anything new.
I think at least one. I'm gonna say at least one of their first party.
I hear you. I'm pushing back because again, we just talked about how they are still in terms of a business plan. Like they're still in buy our console mode. They just are. Like they don't want to put anything on PC for the most part that isn't something older than like 18 months. That seems to be the furthest out they'll go. Look, Straw Hat Prime.
That's what I'm looking for.
Hopefully they do it like Xbox Game Pass. I mean, listen, I hope that they actually announce something to rival Game Pass.
I do too.
I would love for them to announce something to rival Game Pass, even if they're not ready to rival the streaming. Look, again, we know they have Gaikai, so they have something. But again, like Kurt was saying, they don't own their cloud. So, but we know they did a deal with Microsoft to use Azure. So they can work something out in the cloud. What I'm sure they're trying to do is figure out how not to pay Microsoft to do it as much as they're going to have to do it. You know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of, that's the boat that they're in, is that it's costing them so much money to pay to other people like Amazon or whatever, just to continue to have PlayStation Plus, to have PlayStation Network. Two other things I want to talk about before we get out of here. One, this is real quick. Sin, this is for you. Did you see that they're adding a new class to Aliens Fireteam Elite? Trailer dropped today. Phalanx, tank mammal with a shield.
Oh, let's go.
We're doing too much. You understand what I'm saying?
Let's go.
So, we got some things we got to do. We don't even need to talk about that anymore.
Okay.
Kerr says they have the answer, Game Pass, but they never done online correctly. Correct. Sony paying Microsoft for Azure is like Apple paying Samsung for screens. I mean, it is. That's
I got one game they need to show me.
But
on
Sony
Thursday.
also pays Samsung for screens. That's who made the screens inside the PSPs. That's just kind of a thing. Sony TVs, most of those screens are made by Samsung as well. That's just kind of what it is. Again, this chip shortage thing is going to cause us more issues than I think most people realize. I deal with electronics on a regular basis in places you don't expect them. I can tell you right now, if you want a washer or a dryer, you are going to wait because they can't put chips in them. And they all have chips in them now. Refrigerators all have chips in them now. The story that they ran last week when Toshiba said, y'all gonna be waiting until 2023, is literally that like there are like Fords and just sitting like completed, but they can't put the chips in them, and that's the last piece they need to make the car work. They can't get the chips. Like, it just it is what it is. Get yourself.
It's way beyond just gaming.
It's way beyond. Yeah. It's way beyond computers. Like I think for most people, they think chip shortage. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to get a new laptop, or whatever it is. It's way beyond.
No, it's like you said. No, it's your washer dryer. It's your refrigerator. Like you have to start thinking like that. It's a lot of things that we interact with every single day.
It's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem. All right. Here's the other thing I want to touch on, and then we're gonna get out of here. So there was an article that hit last week. You
probably get an emulator for that or something like that.
Hey, you could definitely probably play it on your refrigerator. It's got the screen in there.
You could do it on a
refrigerator.
Sure. You could project Horizon onto your washing machine if you have a nice projector. So there have been some rumors. In I think at the end of this week, Phil Spencer and Strauss Zelnick, who is the head of Take-Two, are joining a talk with TheWrap.com to talk about the future of gaming and where things are going and all that kind of stuff, which is a little odd because to have somebody who heads Xbox and is essentially like a vice president at Microsoft with somebody who heads a purely gaming division like at 2K, which owns, I mean, we know NBA 2K is dropping tonight. They own 2K Games, which is they own Firaxis, which is doing the new Midnight Suns. I don't know if you saw there was new gameplay that got released.
XCOM and everything,
the Midnight Suns. But they also own Rockstar, right? So it's a little strange, right? In that you don't have like a higher industry player like a Jim Ryan from Sony involved in this, or Doug Bowser from Nintendo in on something like this. So the rumors have resurfaced because there were some older rumors that Microsoft was in talks to purchase Take-Two. And now people are starting to talk about that again. And I just kind of want to pick your brains briefly. One, do you think this could happen?
I think it could.
Yeah, I mean, Microsoft, we've seen they will, spend money where it feels needed to be to get stuff done. So I think it could happen.
Do you think it's likely?
I still think it's likely. I mean, Microsoft would love to. Likely? Yeah, okay. I mean, Microsoft will love to add another studio, another company on where that makes decent games. That they can now essentially say first party game if you want to go it that way for it. It just keeps adding to that library, and then of course you incorporate that now adds in the Game Pass. It's like,
yeah. I mean, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I would think that in order to acquire a company like 2K, you would have to pay a lot more than the $7.5 billion they paid to get ZeniMax and Bethesda, and like the 7 or 8 studios that they had. I would think you would have to pay a lot more money than that. Does Microsoft have it? Absolutely. And does 2K print money hand over fist? They do it with one game.
Grand Theft Auto.
And you know what? Grand Theft Auto is 8 years old. GTA 5 is 8 years old.
And it's not slowing down. They keep putting out the updates and
more
everything.
Content.
It's
keep
not
coming
slowing down.
Buy another shark card. Come on.
I mean, Curry, you're right. They will use the revenue from Azure, which a lot of again, they have their hands in so many things. So many things, right? Like you might be using paying Epic. Well, you don't even have to pay Epic to use Unreal anymore.
Yeah, it's just out there. You can get it.
How it is, right? But your physics engine is probably going to be Havoc, and Microsoft owns that. You know what I mean? Like there's some other things that they're doing that are playing way further into the long game.
Imagine just the PlayStation fanboy outcry if they purchased them.
Yes.
It would be deafening.
I'm cool with that.
Here's the thing. It's funny because Microsoft really seems to be doubling down on games and the gaming aspect and the computing aspect and the cloud aspect. Where at the beginning of the Xbox One life cycle, and everybody was upset because they're trying to do TV and you know what I mean? They want like and all that. But now Sony is like doubling down on those things. Now keep in mind that Sony has always been a company that has had their hands in that kind of stuff. Like they've always owned music. They've always had like
first to put DVD players in their systems and stuff like that.
Michael Jackson, Epic Records, Columbia Records. That's all Sony. You know what I mean? So Columbia, like motion pictures, like that's all Sony. So they've always played in that realm, but they have doubled down more recently with acquisitions, like purchasing, I don't know, both of the companies that have all of anime. You know what I'm saying? Like they just buying Crunchyroll, like they are doubling down on things like that. And this is one thing I didn't say, but I'm highly expecting for them to announce a version of PlayStation Plus that includes having Crunchyroll as just a part of your PlayStation Plus membership.
Right.
Because again, it's an additional added benefit. Like, again, people don't really talk about it, but Game Pass isn't just, you pay us $10 a month, or if you're Game Pass Ultimate, $15 a month, and you get access to live, and you get all these games. It's also, you get all these perks. Here's all this free stuff.
Yeah.
Here's 3 months for Spotify. Here's, a free month of DoorDash. Here's 3 months. Like, they're all over the place. They're giving you all kinds of stuff because you're a member and you're in their wheelhouse and they want to keep you there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're correct. Hardware is almost always a loss leader. Microsoft is not a hardware company, so they went out of it. I mean, that is twofold. That is one of the things that came out in this whole Epic versus Apple litigation, right, with Fortnite, was that the difference between Apple charging, taking a 30%
bigger cut
of everything that gets sold on the Apple Store is unnecessary for them because they actually make money on every piece of hardware they sell. Everything they sell. Every iPhone, every MacBook, every, like every Apple TV, they make money on all their hardware. Where even though Sony, it's considered an industry standard because Sony and Microsoft both also take a 30% cut, but they take a loss on the hardware they're selling that you then use that on. So it is to offset the cost that they have, where Apple doesn't need that. So that's been a thing. And Sony is already making more money now on the PlayStation 5. I don't know if y'all saw Austin Evans posted a video, and he got a lot of backlash because they updated the new version of the PlayStation 5 and they took out the majority of the heatsink.
Heatsink.
Yes.
Oh, no, that's
yes.
disgusting.
People are like, wait a minute. You know what
Wait
I mean?
a minute.
And people are concerned, right, that it's running hotter and it's going to run hot or it may cause you more problems further down the road. I do think Sony needs to try to cut. I think Microsoft probably bought a lot of chips and got ahead of the game. You know what I mean? Before Sony did. And I think that they need to cut costs so they can try to make more money on it because that's just how it is. Sony is a content company. I think they know that consoles are probably going to die off. I just think that they're in a place where they feel the need to try to keep it a thing by trying to keep people loyal to PlayStation, trying to keep people loyal to Sony, and trying to live in some way in the physical is important. And Microsoft is saying this, they're saying like, look, hardware is not going away. But we already know they're developing something you can plug into the back of your TV to just do Game Pass. Like we already know that. Like that's what they're doing, right? So we already know they're doing deals with companies. I guarantee you, CES, January.
Oh yeah.
This coming year, that's what you're gonna see. You're gonna see Samsung TVs, Toshiba TVs, Insignia
Game
TVs.
Pass. Yep. With Game Pass
Already on. Like you're gonna see it. You're gonna see bundles that have a controller in them, so people can just get it, run Game Pass, and whatever. And I guarantee you that TV's coming with a free trial. Like it's just you want the TV, here's a trial. Jump in and run with us. You know what I mean? Yep. Play with whatever controller you want. Like literally, I've been watching videos of people playing Xbox games on Game Pass on an Apple tablet using a PlayStation controller. Microsoft does not care. They don't care. In our ecosystem, play our games. You want to play with a PlayStation controller? You think that joint's better? That's cool. Come play our joint. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just that's That's what it is. By the way, play Minecraft while you're at it. Wherever you want. We on everything. You know what I mean? Like, it's their mantra. It has been for a long time. I'm gonna keep my eyes open on this for sure. I definitely think that there's a possibility that we could see something like that. An acquisition like that is rare, but the timing
about right
is about the same as the timing for when they announced that they purchased Bethesda.
Okay.
Just before the holiday,
Samsung
and it means it
washing
probably
machines, Game Pass.
wouldn't wrap up until like March of next year, right? Like they would have to. 2K is a big company, and that's a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
Majority of it's probably going to be cash. Just that's what it is, and they're going to have to do something and make an announcement that makes sense that will push. So what they'll do is they'll make an announcement that will push their price up because they need to make, because 2K is they're publicly traded. That's like ZeniMax was not a public company, so making that acquisition is very different from trying to purchase a company like 2K that is public.
Right.
So you have to do some other things, right? So
yeah, put it out there to the people, let them know, hey, people are trying to buy us. So if anybody else wants to try,
so think about it.
Well,
if you're gonna make that announcement, don't you make that announcement at the week after NBA 2K comes out? Like, you got all the bad news out of the way. WWE 2K, that's not a thing. We're not even going to worry about that. NBA 2K22, they dropped the trailer today for the city. That's a major thing, and it's only on next-gen consoles, right? So here's that. NBA season is about to start. NFL season is about to start, right? And then Thursday, Sony comes out and goes, here's the new Grand Theft Auto on next-gen consoles, Rockstar, that's 2K, whatever, and the joint skyrockets, and then Thursday, Microsoft comes out and is like,
yeah, we about to buy this joint, y'all.
By the way.
Oh, yeah, so we bought 2K.
Hey, just let you know, like, we throwing some money at them, some big money.
Man, they ain't even gonna make a big thing. That's gonna be like a little tweet. Oh, by the way, we bought such and such. Like, that's
it could be a little tweet because everybody else would just take it and run with it. I mean, that would be incredible, and it would make people panic, right? Oh no, am I not gonna get whatever? And y'all know how Phil works. Y'all know how it is. It'll just be like, yeah, listen, we'll honor whatever contracts are already in place. We'll, you know what I'm saying, whatever.
When that Grand Theft 6 come out,
if you're already using Game Pass,
play it on the Xbox.
Yeah, it's just that's what it is.
Game Pass
for a Midnight Club, here it comes. Like, we got you. Like who knows, right? Yeah, I just think because if you look, recently, if you have Game Pass, they've been giving away, like whatever the money, like the VC and credits and stuff like that you get in NBA 2K, like they've been giving it to you if you have Game Pass. Like, they've been doing stuff like that. It could be, or it could be that they do a deal like what Ubisoft has with like, you can, you know, for a certain amount of money, you just have access to those games, which is what you have with EA. So it could be something along those lines. We'll see. All right, it's time to wrap up. So, Jokes, you have a job to do. If you would, please, I'd greatly appreciate it. There is the Linktree link. What that there is for you to click on, and then that allows you to follow us at all the different places where we are followable. One of those places on Facebook is the Loading Snacks Movie Club. And we have decided that for this month, the movie of the month is going to be Dredd.
Yes.
That was our runner-up last month. That was the easiest way to make a decision because we had to pull back on Shang Chi. Some people aren't comfortable going to the theater, and we respect that. Dredd is going to be our movie of the month for this month. So watch it. It is available in all kinds of places. Watch that. We'll talk about it at the end.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
I got a feeling he's going to tune in for that movie club.
That was definitely a Daniel Bryan. Yes. Yes. So yeah, if you're not following us across everywhere, if you look, you have noticed that there are people who are speaking to us on Twitch. There are people who are in the chat from YouTube. There are people from Facebook. You can follow us across all those places. That helps us out. We greatly appreciate it if you did that. Here's the other thing. Because you've noticed that there are other people who are speaking and hanging out with us in the chat from those other places, most of those people, that means that they have their own YouTubes or Twitches or what have you. So please go and follow the other people that you see in the chat. We are building a community here. We want everybody to show love. I'm going to tell you something. That right there, that loud and pride. Follow Kurt.
Big facts.
Her makes some really, really awesome stuff and happens to be a really, really awesome dude. J. Robert Deans was in here earlier. John, again, excellent cosplayer. You guys go follow each other, learn about each other, hang out with each other and so forth in the chat. Come back, join us every week when we do the show. We greatly appreciate it. But again, we're not just building our own community. We're building a larger community for everyone here. Sin, you have a job to do.
Yeah, so let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, and Tyrone Carson. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
Indeed, we do. So yes, in that link tree, you can also find our Patreon. That is a great place for you to go and help support us for as little as $1, as much as 15. Keep your eyes open. There will be some changes and there are going to be some new tiers coming. We've had a couple of discussions. We have some things that we're brewing and working on. Keep your eyes open for that. We also always do shirts for breast cancer for charity in the month of October. So keep your eyes peeled for new shirts that will go up sooner than later, so that you'll be able to grab one if you want to do that and support us there. We are prepping for Extra Life. So you will start seeing soon posts about joining our team. If you would like to play video games with us, we do 24 hours straight through. You don't have to play for 24 hours. Join the team and play for a little while and
just
money and donations. But all of the donations that come in for Extra Life go to Children's Miracle Network hospitals. I choose to play for Children's in DC. Some of the other folks on the team will play for Hopkins or so forth. You can play for whatever hospital you want. That is also a part of Children's Miracle Network hospitals. But the more the merrier. The more people we have that join the team, that are playing, that are posting and asking for donations, it just as a whole just adds more to the pot. And we want to make sure we give back. Things are still very tough if you are a child that is stuck in a place like that, in a hospital or something like that. It's hard for families to go and see each other. COVID is still a very real thing with new variants on top of new variants coming. So just kind of keep that in mind. We have a great time doing it. We always have some fun. We do have some very fun things planned for that. And we'll keep you posted and let you know. I have some folks who are very interested in joining us for that. We don't know if we're going to be doing Anime NYC just yet, but that is a possibility. What we do know is that we will be at Ocean City Comic Con. So that is in December. I highly recommend that you go to oceancitycomiccon.com and you take a look. Consider booking a hotel. It's a one-day con. It's from like 10 to 6 on December 3rd.
11th.
Because 13th was 2 years ago, the last time we actually got to have one. So
I remember it's day for my brother's birthday. That's how I remember.
Yeah. So I highly recommend checking that out. I will tell you right now, there is nothing like getting an oceanfront room for like $80 a night. When there is nobody in Ocean City and the beach is empty. It is beautiful to just open the sliding door and watch the sun come up over the ocean and not have a bunch of people run around on it. Super peaceful, very cool, and really a great con. Really great folks. So definitely take a look at that and check that out. We always have a great time there. We'll be doing a panel there for sure. Okay, so now that all of that is buy us around, of course I'm down. I only drink tequila. I just want you to know. But if you buy me a shot, I will sing you a song at karaoke, because they always have karaoke there. And they're right in.
They do.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna run about 90 minutes. I need to go make sure that the child I have that has to go to school for the first time tomorrow and start 7th grade is doing what she's supposed to be doing. So I'm getting ready to go do that. I greatly appreciate you all hanging out with us tonight. It's been great. We had a great show. Love the feedback. Love what you guys were doing in the chat. Looking forward to seeing you all again next week. Next week, we will have a special guest, Keyline Pixie, who has a wonderful Twitch channel. So make sure you go follow Keyline Pixie on Twitch. Tell her Loading Snack sent you. We will see her with us next Tuesday. So feel free to come and check us out next week. Looking forward to it. And we'll definitely recap what happens at the Sony showcase and see if any of our stuff was right.
Yes.
With that, we are out. Toodles and loos.
All right. We're off.
That's a good show. I had fun.
Yes. Good predictions, everybody. Good predictions.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Now, let's order some bags and some boxes.
Some bags.
You want to roll You want some clever concept safety cutters?
That was a mouthful. Some clever concept safety cutters.
What? Hey, bro, I got pillow boxes.
You don't
Pillow box.
It's time.
Oh, put a box in it. Say we still live. See how I'm talking
still
about?
on?
You still on?
I cut
That
the shit off.
means the shit messed up.
I cut the shit off. Try
Clearly
that.
not.